If you're a physical therapy practice owner and you're looking to get more patients, a little bit more consistency in your schedule, it can be really hard to figure out where to start, especially if you're looking into paid ads. There's so many different options out there. There's so many charlatans out there on the market saying that their strategy is the absolute best. There's only one way to do it, which couldn't be more false. There's a lot of different ways to grow and scale your practice at work. You gotta find the one that makes the most sense for you. And so what I'm gonna be doing today in this video is comparing the two titans of paid advertising, Facebook ads and Google ads. I'm gonna be comparing, contrasting all of their best features, where their audiences are, what kind of ad styles you're able to run, and ultimately which ones are the most profitable and most time consuming for you to help you determine which one of these two platforms you should be starting on to get a little bit more consistency and a little bit more predictability into your schedule. So to get things started, in the blue corner, weighing in at over 2.6 billion monthly active users, we have the mother of all social media networks, Facebook ads. And in the slightly less blue, red, yellow, and sometimes green corner, weighing in at 1.9 billion monthly active users, we have the sultan of search, Google ads. Today we're going to be deciding which is better for your physical therapy practice to advertise on first. Is it Facebook ads or Google ads? I'll be sharing new market data as well as revealing the real world numbers that we've collected from our 200 plus physical therapy clients that we've worked with over the last year. So sit back, buckle up, pull out a notepad and a pen. This is not going to be a fight that you want to miss. Hey, what's up you guys? It's Jordan Mather from Clinical Marketer, where we teach physical therapists, mostly cash physical therapists, how to scale by working smarter, not harder, by showing them exactly what we did inside of our own cash practice to scale it to over $1 million a year within 3 years without accepting any insurances. If you guys are interested in learning the latest and greatest of what is working right now to launch and scale cash physical therapy practices, I want you to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of our valuable content that we put out on a weekly basis. Alright, so today we're matching up Facebook ads against Google ads to help you determine which platform makes the most sense for your physical therapy clinic to advertise on first. So if you are searching for ways to get more patients and a little bit more consistency in your practice's schedule without spreading your marketing budget too thin, do not go away from this video. Stick until the end because Facebook and Google are battling out for 5 rounds, and at the end, we're going to declare a winner and give you absolute clarity on which one of these platforms makes the most sense for you to get started on and what you can expect once you do. So here's the breakdown. Round 1, we're going to be comparing each user's audience base, how big they are, and how many of your ideal patients are on each platform. And in round 2, we're going to be comparing the audience's buying intent. How ready are they to buy your cash packages and actually become a long-term patient? In round 3, we're going to be comparing ad costs. In round 4, ad types and placements. Round 5, ease of scaling. How quickly can you turn $2,000 of profit into $10,000 of profit? If you guys get any value out of the information I'm about to share with you, do me a huge favor and like this video so that others are able to see it, so YouTube knows to push this out to more physical therapy practice owners. And do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss any of the other physical therapy marketing and sales training that we put out on a weekly basis. So let's dive into round 1, audience sizes. The question here is which platform has the most potential dream patients for your clinic in your area? We know both are massive with a ton of users, but which one is the lowest hanging fruit for your clinic to get started with first? Starting with Google, there are more than 5.6 billion, with the B, searches happening every single day, with the average person making 3 to 4 searches each day. Not only that, but Google controls 9.2% of the search market share worldwide. So if there's any search engine you want to make sure that you're on, it's definitely Google. Now Google's pretty darn impressive, but how does Facebook compare in size? Facebook recently reported having 2.9 billion daily active users, with the average user spending about 58 minutes a day on Facebook. Oh God, really? Now that's actually insane, but both of these platforms are impressive, but which one actually wins? Just by looking at the numbers and the size alone, you might assume that it's Google, but it's actually Facebook. Now how come? Well, if you take the daily searches and divide it by the average number of searches per user, you'll find that the daily active users is actually around 1.6 billion daily active users, compared to Facebook's 1.9 billion, and that's not even taking into account Instagram. And you can advertise the exact same content on both platforms from Facebook with just a click of a button. Now for the most part, we're leaving Instagram out of this comparison, but Instagram has an additional 500 million daily active users, with each user spending about 53 minutes per day on the platform. Plus, Instagram is the second largest social media platform, second to only Facebook. Now together, they blow Google out of the water in terms of audience size and reach, making Facebook the winner of round 1. Now let's take a look at round 2, buying intent. The question we want to answer here is, are users actually ready to schedule and buy your physical therapy packages when they opt in through one of these platforms? Now Google Ads are a search-based platform, which means the only time people ever see your ads that are going to actually click on them is when they're making a search using the keywords or search phrases that you're bidding on inside of your Google Ads campaign, such as physical therapy near me or physical therapy in Milwaukee. This means that every person who clicks on your ads are looking for a solution to their problem right now. As in, they're ready to buy and give you money this very moment. So that's pretty hard to beat. So how does Facebook compare to that? Well, Facebook is an entertainment platform, and people who are on it aren't typically looking for a solution to a specific problem. Although pages and groups who cater to solving specific problems like incontinence or women's health or staying healthy during CrossFit are becoming increasingly popular. But try to think of a single time when you needed to have a garage door repaired or your roof repaired or needed a haircut. Most likely you didn't go to Facebook to book an appointment or to search what your options were. If anything, you may have gone on there to make a post to ask your friends for recommendations. So for round 2, buying intent, Google Ads is the definite clear winner. Make sure your brand is showing up wherever your dream patients are looking for physical therapy. That's just smart business. Now let's dive into round 3, ad costs. Now we've helped over 200 plus cash physical therapy practices scale their brands with paid ads in the last 12 months alone. And the most frequent question that we get asked is, how much should we be spending on our ads? Now in this round, we're going to find out which is cheaper to advertise on. Is it Facebook or is it Google? To find out, we're going to take a look at the average cost per click industry-wide, as well as take a look at the cost per evaluation and the cost per package sold across our 200 plus physical therapy client base. Let's keep the trend going and start with Google Ads. The average cost per click on Google Ads for the entire healthcare industry is around $2.67, meaning it costs advertisers $2.62 on average every time somebody clicks on their ads. Keep in mind that that's just an average in healthcare. If you're specializing in girls with POTS or any sort of oncology treatment, your cost per click is most likely going to be much higher. Now let's check out the other side of the coin and talk about Facebook. The average cost per click on Facebook is about $1.32, which is significantly cheaper than on Google. So if you're purely going off of the healthcare industry standard as a whole, it would make Facebook the clear winner for round 3. Let's take a look at our own internal data collected from the 200 plus physical therapy clinics that we've worked with over the last year. As always, let's start with Google. The average cost per click is around $2.58 when advertising physical therapy on Google. For Facebook, the average is $3.10. So if you focus only on the cost per click data for the physical therapy industry as a whole, Google becomes the clear winner. But hold on just a second, I have one more twist for you. Any smart advertiser knows that clicks aren't a reliable way to track profitability, nor is it a good way to base your marketing decisions off of. So choosing a winner based off a cost per click would be foolish, because it's what we call in advertising a vanity metric. We always want to make sure the metrics that we're making decisions based off of are directly tied to revenue. So let's start with the average cost per evaluation completed with Google Ads. Across all of our clients and accounts, the average cost per evaluation is around $120, whereas on Facebook it's just $95. So the cost per evaluation shows us that Facebook is actually the cheaper platform to advertise on. But wait, if Google leads convert better into packages, wouldn't that kind of skew our numbers? So with Facebook generating cheaper evaluations, it might be easy to assume that Facebook ads are the best option, but we want to take this a step further, because who knows, maybe people who come in through Google ads actually convert into packages more frequently, making Google ads more profitable overall. So we want to dig a little bit deeper to determine what is our true cost per package sold. So when we take a look at the data across all of our different clients across both platforms, we found that the conversion rate from evaluation to package is right around 50% for both Facebook and Google. So when it's all said and done, the cost per package sale with Google Ads is right around $200. With Facebook, it's $160. So with that breakdown, we can say with absolute certainty that advertising physical therapy on Facebook is an overall cheaper route, which means that Facebook wins round 3, but it was pretty darn close. All right, it's getting a little bit heated, so let's start with round 4, ad types and placements. In this section, we want to determine the winner by which platform allows better creatives, things like ad copy, images, and videos. Now with Google Ads, we don't have much room for creativity. For example, check out this Google ad. The max length Google allows our headlines to be is just 30 characters long. The max length for our description, just 90 characters. So as you've probably noticed with Google Ads, we're limited to only text. There's no images, no videos, no supplemental content of any kind. But Google doesn't just leave you hanging. They do allow you to add on what are called ad extensions, which allow you to do what are called callouts, little snippets, site links, buttons to call the clinic, and a lot more. Google also allows you to create what's called the display ad, which can run on other websites and apps which use little images. But these images aren't allowed to have headlines or descriptions. Any description that you want to have within this ad needs to be inside of that image. So as you've probably imagined, Google Ads are extremely powerful, but can be pretty limiting when it comes to creativity and portraying what makes your brand truly unique. Now let's contrast that with Facebook. Being a social media platform, Facebook provides many ways to interact and engage with your audience. You can use video ads, image ads, carousel ads, messenger ads, lead form ads, and so many other options. In addition to that, Facebook also allows you to have a much larger character limit on each of your ads. Your headlines can be up to 25 characters, supporting text 125 characters. You can add description text, which allows 30 characters. With all these different options, you have a massive selection of ad types to choose from to get your message and your unique selling proposition across your potential patients. So based on all of that, which platform wins round 4? Now that description was pretty one-sided, so you probably have a pretty good guess on who won, but I'm willing to bet that you are actually wrong. I'm going to have to rate this one a tie. Although Facebook has way more customization options and there's way more things that you can do, Google doesn't actually need those things. Google's purely a text-based platform that doesn't need special images or videos to perform well. In fact, it could actually be a disadvantage to have so many different customization options. Sometimes it makes things perform better when you just keep them simple. So for round 4, I'm going to have to chalk this one up as a draw. Now before we move into our final round, round 5, let's check the score. So far, Facebook has won round 1 audience sizes, but Google hit back in round 2 with higher buying intent. Now it was pretty darn close, but in round 3, Facebook took the lead with lower ad costs. And in round 4, the two platforms tied, having both great ad placements and types. And now it's all come down to this, the final round, ease of scaling. Will Google come back to win, or will Facebook send Google home? Let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, let's do it. Round 5, ease of scaling. Now let's quick talk about what scaling actually means. Scaling means to put more money and resources behind your ads in order to drive more results. Practices typically start to scale their ads once they've been consistently profitable, and so they increase their ad spend to increase their revenue while maintaining their profit. So the question we're asking in round 5 is which platform is easier to scale once you've reached a level of profitability? Now let's stay consistent and start with Google Ads. Anytime you make a significant change to your budget or your ads, Google's learning phase is going to start over and have to re-optimize itself. Typically during the learning phase, your campaign's results are going to be a little bit less stable and performance is going to go down until Google is able to re-optimize itself. And the easiest and fastest way to re-enter the learning phase prematurely is to be too aggressive with increasing your ad budget, adding more copy, or changing your bid strategy. To scale your Google Ads without hurting your campaign's performance and profitability, it's best practice to increase your ad budget by no more than 10 to 15% every other day. Now let's take a look at Facebook. Just like with Google, making drastic, aggressive changes to your budget, copy, or creatives will also reset the learning phase, where performance is likely going to drop while Facebook re-optimizes itself. Therefore, it's also best practice to only increase your ad budget by 15 to 20% every other day to avoid temporary diminishing profits. And with that being said, round 5, ease of scaling, ends in another tie. So here's the final breakdown. Facebook ads won round 1, audience sizes, and round 3 ad costs, where Google won round 2, buying intent, and then they both tied in round 4 and round 5, ad types and ease of scaling. This all means that Facebook ads win, but just barely. The real answer to this question of should you go Facebook or with Google ads is both. But the thing is, I wouldn't recommend starting both at the same time, especially if you're just getting started and you're doing all this stuff in-house. You don't want to put all of your eggs into one basket, but you definitely need to focus on one basket at a time. What I recommend for physical therapy practices is to always start with Facebook ads, because we get a market to a much larger audience of people who aren't yet looking for physical therapy. It's people that know they have a problem, but they don't know what the solution is yet. So we're able to market to a much bigger population of people with a smaller ceiling compared to Google ads. Not to mention, learning is extremely simple. We've taught this to over 200 practices in the last year alone, and it only takes you 1 to 2 hours a week to manage. And once you have a profitable Facebook campaign, reinvest a portion of those profits into starting your own Google ads. This way you get the best of both worlds. With Facebook ads, we get to build at the very top of the funnel where people know they have problems but they don't know what the solution quite is yet. We get to generate demand and build awareness about our brands. Whereas with Google ads, we get to focus on the very bottom of the funnel where we get to capitalize on all the demand that already exists on search engines. Now, if you're just getting started with paid advertising, would like to learn how to set up your own patient-getting Facebook ads, check out this full tutorial where I teach the simplest system that's generating cash physical therapy clients and brought in our clients nearly $1.6 million in the last year alone. So there you have it, a complete breakdown comparing Facebook ads with Google ads for physical therapists. If you found any value in any of this information, please like this video so that others can see it, and subscribe to this channel for more training how to market and grow your physical therapy practice.